Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your July 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk about your reading and energies for the month of July 2020. I love what I'm seeing for you guys. Oh my gosh, 10 of Cups coming up, the Empress, 4 of Wands, Queen of Cups, King of Swords, really great. Like a few other signs this month though, you've got this wonderful opportunity, this wonderful new potential coming in with a few heavier things kind of supporting it. You know, 2 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles. So dealing with debt mentality, dealing with guardedness, dealing with, you know, give and take relationships, compromises. Those things are definitely coming up for you, but in a much smaller dose than union and fairness and benevolence and abundance and celebration as well. So the energy feels very celebratory. Your top row, you know, 10 of Cups, Justice, the Empress, 4 of Wands, great outward energy, okay? Great surface level experiences, great teamwork and cooperation with other people coming in. Even like, I don't want to say twin flame necessarily, but almost like people sent to you by the universe who are really meant to offer you a helping hand, I think will come in for you at this time. Because what I feel for Aquarius is that you might have had a bit of a false promise, or you might have had a bit of a, you know, even experience of paranoia because somebody promised you something they couldn't follow through, or because you promised yourself something and you ended up not quite getting to that point. So there's something in Aquarius's energy that does feel a bit worried. Also, we had Saturn that went into your sign and got like up into 1 degree and then retrograded back and is getting back into Capricorn. So there was like that, you know, fatherly, grand energy that came in for you that was really going to build you up and challenge you and test you. And now that just kind of went away, okay? So the psychology of an Aquarius right now can kind of be a little bit, you know, unsure, just not quite positive of how it feels. And I want you guys to know that that's normal. So if you're feeling like erratic, if you're feeling like you don't know which direction to go, if you're feeling like you don't really know what to expect of the people around you, or that things just are not predictable right now, try to find comfort in it. It's just part and parcel of this time. And for the next 6 months, to a certain degree, Aquarius, that will be the case for you. And why is that the case? It's because you have to start to learn to love the unexpected and to learn to love the unknown aspects of life, which you do actually have a very good connection to. I mean, who knows, Aquarius? Who knows where you might like actually be in a week from now, okay? You might find something this month, and this feels joyful to me, okay? There's a joyful energy here. You might find something next week even, okay, to when you're listening to this, that is so great, okay? Sentimental and nostalgic, perhaps. I don't know, you start like playing Pokemon again or something, or you something, it feels like a game. There's something playful for you here, actually, which is not for any of the other signs is it really this way. So this is a nice little secret that we can share just between us, Aquarius, is that you can take a bit of time off here, actually. Saturn went into your sign and it retrograded back, so you got a taste of what would be expected of you, of these like big things, you know, the big aspects of your life. Because for me, a Saturn, whenever Saturn's in your sign, I've had Saturn in my sign, I've lived through Saturn in Scorpio, I've lived through 7 retrogrades over my sun in Scorpio, exact, back in 2014 and 15. So I am an expert on the Saturn conjunct Sun energy. I should make an entire video about it. But it is one of the most grand and like peak, you know, really, what do I want to say? It is, and it can be ambitious, it can be a high point, it can be suddenly actually receiving a lot more than you expected. But yeah, there are limitations with that. There are prices to pay. There are tough critics with that energy. And you tasted it for just a second over the last few months, Aquarius, since about February, okay? February to June, you tasted that. And now you get respite from it. And over the next 6 months, until it goes back into your sign around the time of December, you can take a bit of time here to enjoy your freaking life, Aquarius. And I put it in that way because your life is meant to be enjoyed by you. You are a very alchemic, water-bearing sign, you know, fixed energy. Fixate on some enjoyment of life here. And when I say enjoyment, you know, I don't mean going to the bar every night. I don't mean, you know, laying on the couch all day, every day. Because Aquarius, I think in this climate, in this energetic climate, actually really enjoys productivity and enjoys working and striving. But I don't think you have to do it in such a pressurized way as you've maybe been thinking. And I think that you can make more time to enjoy fun things and overcome old cycles of like ADD, attention deficit experiences too, because I think that's kind of been coming up for you as well. So on that note, Aquarius, let's move into the week to week, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how this can all come together and what all this means from the weekly perspective. So week number 1 of July, you've got 10 of Cups rooted down by King of Swords. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy coming in. Finally understanding who's on your side. Finally knowing what unions to really pursue. And for some of you, it's a marriage, okay? For some of you, it's an engagement. For some of you, it's the starting of a new relationship. And for some of you, it's the healing of old familial or ancestral wounds. And the ability for you to really be the harbinger of that. King of Swords is about clear mind. It's about discoveries. It's about light bulb moments and being able to communicate it and being able to put it out there. So you might just be the communicator of familial healing. You might just be asking somebody out on a date and it goes way better than you expected. And you might just be like capable of saying the words that everybody needs to hear right now. So you have a gift that you can really give the world, since you tasted Saturn energy for a second but are no longer affected by it in the same way. Yeah, you can really change the times. So I don't know, like politics, or what do I mean? Like when I say politics, I don't necessarily mean like running for office or something like that, but you can really be like a diplomatic presence, or you can really you know, because even relationships can be like political. And what do I mean? You know, like there are weird dynamics between people that are not always clear. So you can be a bit of a good politician right now, actually, in the way that you are working with the dynamics around you. So however you like to interpret that, that's what I feel. Week number 2, you have Justice rooted down by Queen of Cups. You know, I think that you are just getting some serious work done in a really healing and tactile way, Aquarius. You are, perhaps in this familial healing journey, you are saying what you've never been able to say, holding those accountable who have not been held accountable before. You have that power with Saturn. Now, you got to be really fair with it, Aquarius, because you might have more power than you realize, okay? You've got to really make sure that what you're doing is actually in a healing vein. And you got to make sure that it continues, and you've got to make sure that it's solid enough to not be like a fad. So there is the energy of fad within this as well. I will point that out. With the Empress and 4 of Wands coming up as well, it's like, this is so great. This, maybe some of you are even like entrepreneurs, or you're developing a product, or you're getting the legal environment prepared to put a product out there. I could see that for some of you, or to launch a new business. Really positive potential there, but really make sure that this is something that is broad, okay? And when I say broad, I don't mean overreaching. I mean something that is not a fad, okay? Really important for Aquarius, because as Saturn is not in your sign, but it will come back. It will really test you again in December about what is lasting and about what is meant to be for a long time, for the next 30 years of your life, in fact. So interesting to know that that's what you're working with. Make sure that you're kind of posing the question, and this can be like an overwhelming question too, but how does this affect the next 30 years of my life? 30 years is a long time in a human life. These are very important. You know, we only have so many 30-year markers, and you're about to have another one of those coming in 2021. So yeah, you are really mapping the next 30 years. Okay, so third week, but yeah, I've actually not covered Queen of Cups in the second week. Emotional connections to your, to the legalities of your experience. And when I say legalities, you know, your moral compass, and legally as well. Like, make sure you're not getting too intuitive with legalities. This is something that I've learned as well. Legalities are not really meant to be intuitive. They're not really meant to be emotional. Sometimes it's just got to be straightforward. That's why King of Swords is really good for you guys too. So for those of you who are like launching, or for those of you who are doing that type of thing, this isn't really about intuitive experiences. I mean, maybe you could make it work, but try to just really keep things straight and allow for that intuitive zest that you're having to really start to heal some inner experiences. Week number 3, you've got the Empress rooted down by 2 of Swords. So, what do I want to say? Those are very contradicting energies. The Empress is what 2 of Swords needs. The Empress is not guarded. The Empress is not afraid. The Empress is open. The Empress is accepting and knows that she has developed a type of environment where she doesn't need to be guarded, because all of that is already taken care of much further outside of herself. So 2 of Swords makes that mistake where it thinks that this guarding or this boundary needs to happen at a very internal level, whereas the Empress shows us that it's not about that on the inside. It's about having that very much further outside. You know, I would say the Empress is within the palace gates, so she is not worried about being attacked, whereas 2 of Swords feels much more vulnerable and feels like it's maybe, you know, out in a part of town that it doesn't feel safe in, or something like that. So we have that dichotomy for you, Aquarius, where it's like, how safe do you feel? Okay, how safe are you feeling in your current environment? How safe are you feeling in your current work? All of us feel a bit vulnerable right now with the triple retrograde Capricorn conjunction. Okay, so if you're feeling a little bit of vulnerability, that's okay. Also, Aquarius can be a bit of a Teflon energy as well, where it does not like to be seen as vulnerable. So it might be really good to develop your vulnerability in a new, healthier way. And that will be up to you to decide what that looks like. But really solving anything to do with feeling unsafe or feeling too vulnerable in the 3rd week of July will be really important, because it's a great time for you to make your environment more wholesome, to enjoy what is around you, and not a time to really be blocking it out or guarding yourself from it, because you don't want to prevent that thriving that the Empress can bring in through its openness. So just making sure that you're open where you need to be open and you're closed where you need to be closed. Really just get it straight, you know. Week number 4, you guys have 4 of Wands rooted down by 6 of Pentacles. I always like it when when you get like a 4 card in the 4th week. To me, it says it's a good synchronicity. So you could be dealing with synchronicity in that week. And celebrations and synchronicity. That could come at a price as well with 6 of Pentacles. You might be celebrating having finally paid off a debt. You might be celebrating having gotten out of an emotional debt. You know, a relationship that felt like a bill, something like that you could really be overcoming. And also marriage. So much energy of marriage for you guys this month with 10 of Cups, Justice, 4 of Wands, and 6 of Pentacles, and a King and a Queen. I bet that a lot of you are getting married this month, or getting engaged, or starting new relationships. Which I think that it is a good time for that if you guys are already there. If you've just met somebody and you think that you want to get married to them and you've not known them, and this is a very like new idea, I would wait, okay? I would really wait until at least 6 months from now, once Saturn gets back into your sign, to think about that. But, you know, I could see that being an interesting progression here and now as well. Let yourself celebrate in the 4th week, okay? Let yourself also be debt-free if you could. Not for everybody is that possible, but whatever steps you can take to move out of debt consciousness will only help you as Saturn comes back into your sign. Whatever, you know, true integrity-based steps you can take to do that. One way or another, Aquarius, a very celebratory, interesting month for you coming in. I hope that you enjoy what you're seeing here, and I hope that you're getting kinder and kinder to yourself and more prepared to enjoy your life. So anyway, Aquarius, I'm going to do an extended reading over on Patreon. I hope all of you will come over and check it out. I'm going to look at a central theme as well as 2 supporting themes to get more understanding of what's coming up for you all. And yeah, we'll see the higher level of what this reading is trying to say. As always, your likes, comments, and subscribes here on YouTube make my day. And if the reading resonated, you can also hit the join button near the subscribe to tip or support the channel in whatever way you like. So thank you so much for being here, Aquarius. We'll be talking soon. The Patreon link is in the center of the video now. And let's jump over to Patreon for the extended. Much love. Bye.